And that was Palmer there sharing his thoughts with Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. But from the sports, let's quickly get into some hard issues. It's time now for me to share with you, Ghana, for my blunt thoughts for today. And I've titled it, The Enemy Within. Why Ghana's leaders are so far off the delivery mark. Brothers and sisters, Queen Elizabeth II, daughter of King George VI, kicked the bucket this past 8th day of September, making the headlines around the world as the second longest serving monarch in world history, only behind Louis XIV of France, who reigned for a jaw-dropping 72 years. Elizabeth II is, of course, beloved by some and hated by others, a figure revered and reviled at the same time. Now, owing to the generation in which I was born, I have some fond memories of the Queen. But owing to that same factor, I also have not so fond memories of her. I am actually indifferent on most counts. I'm not all about whether she was good or bad. History has an interesting way of judging that. One of my favorite recollections concerning her, though, goes all the way back to November 1961, when she was photographed, as you can see right behind me, dancing with a black man for the first time. The man's name was Kwame Nkrumah, yes, Ghana's first president. I've also seen pictures of the Queen with the royal scepter containing a 500-carat diamond known as the Great Star of Africa, or Cullinan 1, the world's largest known clear-cut diamond. The original diamond from which this 500-carat diamond was cut actually weighed about 3,106 carats in its natural form and was the size of a human heart. Today, there are growing calls in South Africa from which that diamond was stolen in 1905 for a return of this looted treasure. Queen Elizabeth II of blessed memory didn't do the stealing personally, of course, as the gift was actually inherited from King Edward VII, to whom it had been given in 1907, long before she became queen in February 1952. But she's used those crown jewels for decades, and now King Charles will too. But while we may hate and cast aspersions at the monarchy in Britain for the many ills visited upon African countries that they colonized, as well as other countries across the world like India and Iraq, I cannot also fail to point their loyalty to their country and their cause. Yes, they chose wrong over good many times, but all in the interest of their country. My problem? Most of our leaders here in Africa are simply unable to be this protective of even what is ours, which we give them in trust to administer for our good. What do they do oftentimes? They choose their selfish interests and even foreigners' interests over ours. And that is the pure madness I cannot for the life of me comprehend. How come? So here in Ghana, men and women of the land caught in illegal mining, aka galamsey, will be placed in the cooler in the hundreds and left to rot. Yet foreigners will be treated with kid gloves and even given a pat on the back, like we saw in April 2019 when Senior Minister Yaosafo Mafo disgracefully told us when, villainous Aisha Huang, a looter of gold and a despoiler of our heritage and our very livelihood, made her merry way out of our jurisdiction. He told us at the time that putting Aisha in jail in Ghana was not going to solve our economic problems. That was our own, looking us in the face and spitting into it. Well, she's back again to do even more damage, but thanks to a tip-off, and not thanks to any security alertness of our authorities, as some are purporting, she's been nabbed again. My dear friends, I ask myself, in which serious country would Aisha have got away with what she did? We have been told so many different stories by Mr. President, the Interior Ministry, the Information Minister, Aisha's lawyer, the prosecution in court, the Ghana Immigration Service. The list goes on and on. But tellingly, the narratives are all different. There can only be one truth, which must mean that many of these people in power have been lying to us. But who and why are the big questions. Who then are our avowed enemies? Who then are those actively despoiling our heritage? Our very own misleaders. Others come and try to take advantage of us, and their collaborators are our very own? How come? And while these misleaders, who are the enemies right in our midst because they connive with others to rob us, their kith and kin, they cannot even manage the plentiful resources available to us for our good. Today, inflation stands at 33.9%, having jumped 20 percentage points since January this year. And our misleaders are clueless to find a remedy. Just hold and take a look with me. These are the timelines of Aisha Huang in our country. Aisha, of course, in 2017 was arrested over galamsey, remanded, put on trial. In December 2018, the state dropped charges against her, the court discharged her, and she was reported deported. April 2019, Osafo Mafo says Aisha's deportation was best for Ghana, like I reiterated. Then, Akufo-Addo says Aisha's deportation was a mistake for Ghana. In September 2022, Aisha is rearrested over galamsey. Then she's sent to court and remanded, and now the president says he is not sure whether Aisha in fact left Ghana in 2018. But put that side by side with what we are seeing in our economy. Look at this. January 2022 to August 2022. Look at the difference when it comes to inflation. 9.9%, that was in January. That was 2021's figure. And look at the 2022 figure, 13.9%. And look at the difference. Half year. By August 2021, it stood at 9.7%. But look at August 2022, 33.9%. When you look at fuel prices, and there's a reason I am bringing this to bear, look at the increment. Year on year. You look at petrol, represented by the red mark, and diesel by the purple mark. In 2015, we were purchasing petrol at 2 cedis 77 pesos. Diesel at 2 cedis 64 pesos. Just look at the figures and the trajectory. And look at August 2022. In fact, we started the year with some figures. I'll give you that shortly. Now petrol is selling at 11 cedis 82 pesos, and in many places it is higher than that. And diesel is going for 14 cedis 26 pesos. In fact, as of September the 2nd, we're purchasing diesel for 14 cedis and 50 pesos. Those were the rates. 14 cedis 50 pesos, and that was on September the 2nd. That is an increment of 7 cedis 51 pesos for the farmer who uses heavy equipment, the trotro driver, the businesswoman whose business has to rely on a generator from time to time. Petrol, in like manner, has risen in price by 4 Ghana cedis 50 pesos since January, shooting from 7 cedis and 5 pesos to 11 cedis and 55 pesos within the period. Now, editing the lyrics of Idris Abdul Karim's 2004 song, I guess I could fittingly say, Nagana jaga jaga, everything scatter scatter, poor man they suffer suffer, kposa kposa, wahala in the air. Are you aware, Ghana, for as I speak to you now, that some 20% of our population is so poor that this group lives below the poverty line? Are you also aware that 8.8 million of us lived in slums in Ghana in 2020, and the number definitely would have increased by now? Are you aware of that? That is an increment of 60% from the 5.5 million figure recorded just a few years ago in 2017. Because of skyrocketing cost, a sachet of water will soon be 50 pesos. Transport fares are set to go up again as drivers' unions are pushing for another increment, this time a whopping 30%. When, I ask, will this raging madness that has ravaged our economy be banished? When? When will our suffering finally be alleviated? To make matters even worse, the Ghana cedi is back to factory settings and is hemorrhaging badly to the hard currencies of our world. Let's face it, these misleaders we have chosen to lead us are the new colonialists, the new imperialists. They do not come to us like the Portuguese, the Dutch, and the British did. But they are even more dangerous, for they don the sheep's clothing of innocence, claiming to be one of us. Yet when we entrust our power into their hands, they turn around and show us their fangs, doing worse things than even some colonizers did. To them, we're simply to be exploited, to their benefit, of course. Even worse, these misleaders loot from us and will not even invest it here, but lodge it in foreign bank accounts, the banks of the same colonizers who raped our nations and destroyed what could have been. This is why these shackles too must fall, because we still can be if we stop forcing misleaders who are square pegs into leadership roles which are round holes. Our situation, Ghana 4, also reminds me of the lyrics of another song, Koda's Things Are Not the Same. In fact, Koda sings, things are not the same anymore. Christosum, Ayensempi. My rendition, things are not the same anymore. Omambwe, Ayensempi. A fortnight ago, while in Amsterdam, I encountered Yao. I shall not mention his full name for purposes of anonymity. He is an elderly man I met cleaning at the Schiphol airport. He told me of his sad tale of wanting to make ends meet in Ghana, failing at it and deciding instead to wing it in the Netherlands. It's a menial job he does, but a job that pays the bills all the same, one which allows him to cater for his family in Ghana. The employment minister says this administration has created some 5.3 million jobs since 2017. Sadly, we could not find work for Yao, a man I figured would be in his early to mid-50s. Our own President Akufo-Addo was there too in the Netherlands as he attended the same event I did. You know, I actually wonder what was running through his mind as he saw what I saw, the sheer ingenuity of thinking and implementation in all facets of their national lives, with the little they have, and how we have it all, but seem simply unable to make anything of it at all. But we have a problem. Part of why many of our leaders are the blood-sucking, money-stealing vampires they are has to do with how we have couched the concept of leadership. Someone shared on social media recently a bit about how when he was in school and as senior prefect, in fact, he would get more food, a lot more food. He could take the entire bowl and all of that. We make our leaders feel they deserve everything and we deserve nothing. That is where the problem starts. In a country that works, you see, Aisha Huang, who it would appear was virtually smuggled out of our country by our own government after her crimes against our state, would have been in the can, paying for her sins against that child who cannot access healthcare because of diverted funds that could have gone to the state, or that mother who is slowly dying owing to the pollution to the only water source she has available through mercury poisoning. In any serious country, she would have been under lock and key by now for her initial crimes against our state over the years. In any serious country, we wouldn't have the same Gabi Asare-Otridako who vilified others for far less, now telling us that, well, you know what, why are we overbashing ourselves? After all, she's been apprehended by the security entities. This country is ours, but not really ours. On every side, we are being shortchanged. I keep saying that if we do not watch it, we may someday wake up to a country being recolonized, not because the structures of colonialism from yesteryear would resurface, but because of our own unbridled taste for foreign things, our high indebtedness, and our crass inability to stand on our own feet economically. We could be sold out on a silver platter. I have every right to be concerned because I have a stake in this enterprise called Ghana. This is the land of my birth. I must fight for it today, tomorrow, and the day after that. But you out there, are you willing to do same? To speak truth to power, damn the consequences, damn where you lie on the political spectrum. If Nkrumah had been a coward, we would not have attained independence. Let us, Ghana, arise and set things right, lest the wind we sow today will reap for us a whirlwind of agony, defeat, and shame. It's heartbreaking when you see what other countries are doing. You know why? These achievements are not beyond us. In fact, they are very much within our grasp. I have a friend in Canada who speaks about how Ghanaians there are spearheading development. Yet what do we see in our own backyard? Squalor, wasted resources, serpentine corruption, everything topsy-turvy on its head. What makes the difference? Leadership, and with it, proper planning. That's all these other places have ahead of us. Leaders, sentient thinking leaders, who can spur us all on to the promised land. Yes, I know I'm biting somebody, but I need to do that so we wake up as a people. These are my thoughts, Ghana 4, served to you raw, unedited, undiluted. God richly bless Ghana.